Welcome back to another episode of the Small Business Big Impact podcast. My name is Marlon Bremer. I'm your host for today and have a good, as we typically do, try to discuss a couple of things that concerns us small business owners as we go about our business, right? So do you realize that we as small business owners are about 90% of the global economy? The worldwide population is exactly actually comprises 90% of the labor force. So that community of people are responsible for the economy. What does that mean to you, and what does that mean to us as we try to bring back from the headwind that we've been facing from COVID-19 and from all these different disasters, especially here in 2020 that we've experienced. We've had the opportunity to partake in different funds provided by the government. Some may argue that that was pretty short of anything that we truly needed. And there are businesses today who are still, not open, right? So they're still waiting for that green light to go ahead and move forward with the opening of their business. So the question we were presented today in an article that I came across was, how do we it's essentially a plan for longevity in whatever we're doing, right? Granted, I know of us specific businesses who have decided to essentially close their business, primarily because they cannot sustain themselves beyond the months that they've been closed. But there are other businesses who are fighting it out and eking their way ahead. The question is again, how do we forge over this in the tailwinds and the headwinds that we've been experiencing? So we have the opportunity to be a part of what the Forbes magazine has been putting together. It's called the 2020 Forbes Small Business Virtual Summit. As you can imagine, a lot of these summits we've been doing, we've been experiencing, we've been meeting as small business owners with our clients, with our teams. We've been doing it online. So why not do a virtual summit for small business owners online? And hence we have a summit which begins actually today, right? Today at 2 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. From the recording of this video, it's September 25th, 2020, 2 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. I wanted to get that out so that you could be a part of what's going on with Forbes. It's a very good opportunity for you to go out and kind of experience and hear what leaders in our community, as well as leaders in various government positions are doing to help small businesses. Speakers such as Jovita Carranza. She's the 26th administrator for the U.S. Small Business Administration. She's going to be there. Cory Booker, of the Democratic senator from New Jersey, he will be in attendance, as well as the Cheryl, CEO of Facebook, will be there as well. So we have a good mix of leaders in the community, thought leaders, business owners, as well as you know people who are influencing what's going to happen in the coming weeks, months, and years. Now, I certainly did call quite a few powerful names there, and the list goes on and on and on and on. And hopefully you get the opportunity to partake of this great event. However, what are you doing? And the most important person that we need to talk about is you, right? It's not any of these people that I just listed. It's you. What are you doing to make sure that your business or your business model is sustainable beyond COVID-19? Even within COVID-19, how do you remain relevant with everything that you're doing? And this is why this podcast was created. it wasn't necessarily. I'd love to speak with Cheryl Sandberg if she is interested. But the whole focus of this podcast is to highlight the heroes of the day to day stuff that we do day in day out, the unsung heroes who essentially employ two or three employees, or maybe even just themselves. Right? These are the folks who, against all odds, get up and try to forge their way ahead and make sure that they're providing for their families and providing for the people in their community, their employees and such, right? So the of course the title of the podcast is Small Business Big Impact, and a lot of small business owners don't realize how much of an impact that they may have in their community, right? So, for example, again, 90% of the jobs in globally in the community across the globe are provided by small business owners. 90%. Wrap your mind around that, right? So you are making an impact. You may not think so. You may not be the CEO of Facebook, or you may not be a senator in some state, but you are making an impact, whether you think so or not. And that's what I try to highlight here on this podcast as much as I can. And today is no different. I have a wonderful person who I've met. She has been she's a striking, strong individual who is in an industry that certainly has been affected by COVID-19. So she has been a realtor for the past 10 years and has established her own real estate firm and is doing well in terms of helping new owners, new people who have never owned a small bit a home in their life, gain access to this wealth creating tool. So I'd love to just go ahead and introduce her to you guys, and I want to welcome the great Miss Immacula Paul.
Hi, Marlon. Thank you.
How are you, Miss Paul?
Hi, I'm great. Thank you. Thank you for having me this morning. It is my pleasure to be here with you during this Small Business Impact.
For taking our invite here to Small Business Big Impact. And like I said, I mean, your introduction, it goes way ahead of you, right? You are for the brief moment that I've met you, this just by talking to you, I see that you have a vision way beyond just being a realtor, right? You actually want to make an impact in the community that you serve. And tell us a little bit about how you started and your journey to today.
Well, I started in 2007 as a regular real estate agent, and that's when during the time when the market crashed, I chose to just plunge into doing that. And during that time, I was in the market to purchase my own property. But however, when I was doing that, I didn't have the education that I needed, the structure that I needed to purchase the home. I went about trying to find different area for people to help me. I attended classes. I was trying to figure out how to go about getting the grant because, within our community, our problem is credit and the funds. So sometimes I had the credit, I didn't have the funds, and sometimes I had the funds, but not the credit. So it was going vice versa. And when I did that, no one was able to help me. So I chose to go and take the class. And that journey continued to go on until now. So in 2015, I wanted to become a broker to assist and to help individuals. And while I was working under another office, I was not able to do that because I was restricted. I didn't have the structure. I didn't have anything implemented to be able to help individuals like me that I wanted to help. So this year, 2020, unfortunately, with COVID that happened, it's okay. It had not deterred me at all. I choose to open up my own brokerage office of real estate, Cellars International Realty. And I want to make big impact within my community. What I did, I started an initiative. I went to the Urban League of Broward County. They invited me about 4 or 5 times a month to teach individuals the fundamentals to guide them in the process of first-time home buyers. And that's what I've been doing through the Urban League, the Housing Foundation of America, and the Opelika Community Development Center. I've been doing that strategically and implementing this initiative to assist individuals because at one time in my life, I didn't have anyone to guide me, to teach me about the process, to tell me about the inspections, to tell me about, the market, or, what to do or what not to do, and not to spend money, and, the appraisal and the contract and the money that I have to put down, and how to save and how to go about not spending that savings account at the time of the purchase. All that came into play. So I teach those classes with the nonprofit organization to educate and to teach our community, especially minority communities, in the process and the step that they will take to purchase their own home. And my foundation is generational wealth through home ownership. Why do I do that? Why do I say that? Because that property that you are purchasing can easily go towards your children, your children's children, and your generation go on, even when you pass away. And we as individuals don't think that way. And this is why I have it called generational wealth through home ownership. Because with ownership of a home, you build equity, and equity builds you wealth.
See, you're talking my language right there. You're my language, because as you know, I'm all about generational wealth. Just a quick plug on the gap theory. There on the gap podcast, I try to talk about how can we shorten that gap with the wealth expansion that's occurring currently in the economy. So what do you think about what's going on here in the economy, where we have a great boom in the stock market, where people are just moving ahead wealth wise, and yet there is this morning, I think or yesterday morning, there was a report that came out that 840,000 people filed for unemployment. How has that? What are your thoughts on that, and how has it affected your business with real estate?
I don't believe, I take it as optimistic. I don't believe it had affected my business because I'm consistently teaching individuals.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, with COVID-19 and what's going on right now, it affects us as a minority in our community. And because of that, people don't have funds right now, and they're losing their jobs, they're losing their income. A lot of things going on within the economy in our community. Unfortunately, that's where predatory lending come in, because we are desperate. It's easy for us to sign paperwork. It's easy for us to say, okay, because we need the help. We need the assistance. We need to save our homes. We need to maintain and stay within our rental community because we don't have the funds right now. And the market is slowly crashing. And because I'm teaching, I believe I will have an effective result as well. Because I'm teaching them to still maintain their home. I'm teaching them to still, although you're not able to pay, and you can file for employment, and when you do get that funds, do not spend it on frivolous things. Save it. While you have that time, while you have that leverage right now in the community with what's going on with rental communities, save that funds. And because most of the time we are hard-headed as a community, we don't think. We just sign paperwork. We just want the help real quick, and then fraudulent activities occur either within our finances or in our accounts or whatever it may be, because we don't think. So I believe, although we are being impacted by COVID-19 right now, I believe my initiative, educational facilitation that I'm doing right now will effectively assist individuals that's going through.
Awesome. And I noticed that you talk about your journey starting out of your own experience, just kind of having that raw experience of not gaining access to capital and so on and so forth. So that you're not just selling homes, you're actually sharing your experience with your clients, aren't you not?
That is correct. I don't, selling home is great because anyone can sell home. But if you're able
Hmm.
to educate someone, give them the power of education, it will go a long way. And that's what I plan to do, and that's what I am doing, and that's my passion, and this is what I want to do. Anybody can sell a home, anybody can list a
Awesome.
home, anybody can, just say, okay, sign here and sign there. I teach you what to do and what not to do, and how to recognize certain words, how to recognize certain circumstances, situation where you are in, and how to be able to overcome those obstacles when the time comes. That's what I do. And this is why I believe that my business, my strategies, my education for the community, especially minorities, are different from any other, real estate companies that's out there.
Yeah, then an educated customer is the best customer. I agree.
I agree.
That it all starts with education. I want to, with my clients, walk away from empowered, right? Knowing
Mhm.
that they have the information necessary for whatever challenge that may be brought to the table.
Yes.
So you teach a lot. You go out in the community and you share that experience. Do you have experience that you want to share with our
Yes, I do. I started.
any new teaching engagements?
Yes, yes, I do. I started when the COVID started. I had no choice but to pivot, which is great for me. Although I am a people person, I like to be around the community, around people. But I had to pivot, and right now, October
Hmm.
24th, I will be launching a workshop, an educational workshop through Zoom, and I will definitely have it on Eventbrite and also all my social media handles. If you want to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook. It will definitely be there. Just make sure that you sign up for the educational workshop to teach you the ins and out of the process of purchasing a home. We need to get this started, ladies and gentlemen. We have to have that generational wealth for our family, for our children, for our grandchildren, and the next generation that's coming after us when we are gone. If we don't have that mindset, what will we leave our children? We have to have that mindset of savings, purchasing, implementing, guiding, and leading. That's what we need to do. So on October 24th, it's from 12 to 1. I will be taking any questions. I will be teaching the process, and just feel free to come, and it will be all of my social media handles. And you can call me also at 786-251-7100 to register you, and I'll be glad to do that as well.
We have that number there. You heard it here, ladies and gentlemen, 786-251-7100. And her first is on August to 1 p.m. via Zoom. You can come in your undies, to however you want to do it. You can be comfortable at home and get all the education that you need with regard to being a first-time home buyer. Okay, and we know that there are a lot of benefits to being a first-time home buyer. So we want to make sure that we get those benefits before we make a commitment. As she said, don't just be ready to sign a contract just because it seems a very nice deal, or you're enticed by the home or how it looks. Try to make sure that you get the information that you need so you can acquire. Because believe it or not, a lot of the cities, and the counties, and even the state provide
Mhm.
funding for first-time home buyers. So she's gonna obviously walk you through all of that and give you the information that you need. Now you mentioned your Instagram handle. What is your Instagram handle so I can share with everyone?
My Instagram handle is Cellars with a S, Cellars International. And my Facebook is CI Realty LLC Miami. My LinkedIn is Cellars Realty. And my Twitter is MLX Realtor.
All right, so I'm just gonna publish the Instagram
I'm
right
sorry.
here.
But I gave it
Uh,
to you.
that's fine. That's fine. I'll let you repeat it again, but I'm just gonna put up the Instagram right here so that everyone can that visually. All right, and that's Cellars International on Instagram.
Yes,
Cellars International on
that is
Instagram.
correct.
And go ahead and repeat the Facebook and the Twitter and LinkedIn again.
The Facebook is CI Realty LLC Miami.
Hmm.
And the LinkedIn is Cellars Realty. And my Twitter is MLX Realtor.
Awesome. Now, you glossed over it a couple of times, and I told you I'm passionate about it. You are you. I'm gonna put your email up here as well. You mentioned wealth creation
Yeah,
through real estate,
yeah,
and not only wealth. You mentioned generational wealth. So
yeah.
as you know, I'm an estate planning a person, and
Mhm.
I love finances and the whole nine yards. So how do you what kind of strategies do you teach with regard to wealth creation, generational wealth creation, and being able to pass on this powerful tool via real estate to the next generation?
Um, the tools that I have in mind, that I have implemented, that I have impacted through the community with the nonprofit organization, when I say generational health through home ownership, many individuals think that when they purchase their first home, and it doesn't have to be perfect, that this is it. Purchasing your own home is just the beginning. It's not the end. It's just a strategy that you have given yourself to build that wealth. How? When you have equity. One property build equity, and from that equity, you purchase another property. And from that same property, it depends on your preference or what you want to do. Either you fix it and flip it, flipping it meaning that you sell it, or you buy it, you keep it, and you rent it. And once that property built equity, you buy another property. It's like a domino effect. You implement it, and it becomes generational. It overflows. And with that funds that you have, this is where IRA come in. This is where investment and estate planning and estate investment that you do, Martin, come in. We have that. We'll be able to have that funds to save for our future, for our retirement. Now, that wealth, generational wealth through home ownership, that can be given to our children, our grandchildren,
Sure.
by our estate planning, our investment. IRA is our own. We can save it and we can retire off of those funds.
Right. And you mentioned an important point that you can create cash flow. I think us know how to create income. A lot of us know how to gain access to these wealth creating tools such as the IRA and even a home. But creating cash flow is key because we're going to have to learn how to create cash flow while we're alive,
Mhm.
while we're working, I should say, doing the income generation per phase, as well as doing the retirement phase. I think a lot of the times we get into a whole mode of, I got to accumulate over a short period of time, and then I'm going to find a way to create cash flow from that wealth. But we should already be determining and finding ways to create cash flow while we're in our working years. So that's key that you said that. I enjoy that.
I
Is
totally agree.
there? Go ahead.
I totally agree. It's a mindset. We have to have that mindset, and it start within, and it start with us. If we don't have that mindset of the wealth and the strategies and the structure and how we want to acquire those wealth, it will not work. It has to start with
Right.
our mindset. We have to change the way that we've been produced, the way we've been taught from way back when. So we have to be able to change our mindset, saying that, okay, this is it. I want to change. I want to do things differently, not only for myself, but for my children and my children's children. And it start within, and it start with us, and it's changing our mindset. And I totally agree with what you just said.
Amen. I think it's the book of Proverbs says a wise man creates wealth
Mhm.
for his children's children. So that's very powerful that you said that. When did you make the shift to become a small business, independent small business owner? And was this always something that you had in mind, or when did you make that shift to be an independent small business owner?
That desire, Marlon, was always in me from the time that I was a child, to be
Hmm.
honest with you. Although I was working under someone else, um, I've always wanted to own my own. I always wanted to change the world if I can while I'm still alive, to do something different. But many times we allow fear to hold us back. And
Yeah.
that was always my problem, is fear. Although in 2015, I went and took the state exam and got my real estate broker license to be able to be on my own, I remained stagnant and dormanted in that company. I didn't want to move because I was comfortable. Too
Right.
many times we are comfortable,
Right.
and that's what I was. But when I decided to make that shift, because I was already helping, I was already assisting, but it wasn't to the capacity that I wanted to do with the nonprofit organization. So when I
Hmm.
decided to make that shift this year, it was exhilarating. I
Good.
felt fulfilled. I felt overflow. I felt such joy, and just it just felt overwhelming. I can't even explain it, because if I started, maybe it wasn't time for me to start
Hmm.
back then, 5 years ago.
Hmm.
This is the right time. I feel that it is the right time. But I want to tell our audience that our biggest hurdle is fear, it's doubt,
Absolutely.
and not being
Absolutely.
able to will ourselves to what we want, to the challenges, and to the things that we desire in our lives, because we deserve to have wealth. We deserve to live a life worth living. We deserve to be part of a community where we are able to be comfortable, where we are able to prosper among each other in our community.
Right.
But if we
Right.
allow our mentality, if we allow fear, if we allow doubt and our stagnancy and complacency get in our way, we will never reach our goal and our potential. We have to go for the goal no matter what circumstances and what situation come in our way. And we have to be brave, we have to be strong, and we have to be united.
Amen. Now, I are saying that small business ownership is not for the faint of heart, right? So
Mhm.
it's definitely not for everyone, right?
Right.
But if you have desire, you shouldn't allow that like you said, that fear to get in your way, and it will if you allow it. You shouldn't allow that fear to get in your way, and you shouldn't feel so complacent and happy, where you are, and not necessarily want to rock the boat, so to speak, just to make sure that you gain that independence. Once there, though, there's so much benefits,
Yeah.
that you experience as a small business owner, and just the independence of it all, is enough for you to make that decision. But there are a whole lot more benefits that we can discuss at a later time that you can experience as a small business owner.
Yeah.
what's the biggest benefit that you've experienced as a small business owner?
Wow, it's so many. It's so many. I've had a lot of doors open for me lately as a
Hmm.
small business owner. And there's the Miami Bayside Foundation. When I started a business, I was applying for anything, every class, workshop, webinar, whatever that I can get my hand into. And when I found Miami Bayside Foundation, small business training, that I was not supposed to be there because they
Hmm.
require for people to be in business for 2 years. At that time, I was just only in business for 3 months.
Wow.
So I was able to get into that program, and there's wealth of information that they gave me from how to market myself, how to brand myself, financial literacy. They gave me legal advice, how to do my business plan. That's a
Mhm.
major one. Business plan and how to sustain and obtain capital. And
Okay.
it's been an overwhelming experience for me, and the doors that have opened is just tremendously, and I'm truly grateful for that. Yet bear in mind, it's not for, how people say it's not for the heartless or the fainted or something like that. You have to be strong because it's easy to give up in today's society, and especially now. But you have
Absolutely.
to be strong and know that you have a goal. Know that you have a greater purpose in life. And this is
Right.
why we're doing this. Not only for the funds, not for only for the income, but you have a greater purpose. When you leave this world, what impact will you have?
Right.
What will your name or your company say about you? That's what people have to think
Right.
about.
Right. And I can't remember where this quote came from, but it was from a thought leader, a business owner. And I think he said something along the lines of, it is my duty to become wealthy because I need to assist others, right? So I'm paraphrasing the way he said it, but essentially he's saying that it's important for me to become successful because I'm gonna be helping other individuals, either my employees or you think about it, a regular small business owner carrying the tons of employees and their families, assisting them,
Right,
and just a general community, not just your family. You're there to support a community, like the statistic I shared earlier on. 90% of the labor force are there for because of small businesses. So
exactly.
we have a duty to the world and the community just to persevere and fight through all that negative that we often induce ourselves because we're trying to be perfect, or we're trying to live up to a certain standard, but you have to fight through it. So I applaud you with that, and I really do wish you the utmost best. Um, One last question. It's a two-part question, and it's a question I think I've been asking my last a few guests. Um, what do you think is the biggest impact that you've made on the community? Part one, and part two. Which tell us of an experience where a client made a huge impact on you.
Well, honestly, although I've been educating individuals, I don't really think I'm there yet, made an impact in the community. I want to do
Hmm.
more, and there's more to be done. And a client that had made an impact on my life would be, there was this young lady 3 years ago that 5 years prior to that, I helped her to rent a property. And she told me that, Immacula, when I'm getting ready to purchase my home, I'm going to call you. But that was 5 years, during the time. Six
Hmm.
years later, she called me. She said, I told you I was going to call you when I'm getting ready to purchase my property. I said,
Right.
oh, okay, that's fine. So I start helping her, do the research, educating her, everything, the process from the inspection, the appraisal, the application of, getting pre-qualified and everything else. But in the midst of all those things that I was doing, she lacked the educated part that I was teaching her. She missed a couple of payments with her, car. She lent some funds, which I told people not to do in the beginning, to family members, and she almost did not get the property. In the back of my mind, I'm saying to myself, how can she not listen to what I just said? Because I'm giving her all the tools that she needs to make sure that the process goes smooth, not only for her, but as well as for me, and always communicate with me as a realtor. We got to a point that we almost did not close. So I had to strategize. I had to come and find out another way to make that work for her, because then she started like getting very depressed, discouraged, and I had to make some move, and I had to think out of the box. As a real estate agent, if I'm here to help you, to make sure that I assist you the best way that I can, that I have your best interest at heart, I have to start thinking out of the box. So I had to go and call people around. And to make a long story short, I was able to find her a grant to assist her to be able to purchase the property. And what gets me is when we get to that place, to that table to signing and the closing and everything, that smile in her face was priceless, because it happened. She thought it wasn't going to happen. Although we had some hurdles, although we had some obstacles, it happened. And when we went to the property and she opened that door, she paused for a minute. I always tell people that story because I would never forget it. She paused for a minute and tears started to run out of her eyes. And she turned around to me and gave me a big hug. And she just paused for a minute. And all she said is, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, I'm not saying that I am a perfect realtor. I'm not saying that I will always do everything right. But what I will say is that if you communicate with me, if you listen to the advice and the education that I'm giving you when it comes to purchasing, we will make that dream that you desire happen, because you have listened and I've educated you and you have followed instruction. It might not always go that way because, again, I'm not perfect, but as long as I have your best interest at heart, I will make sure that day you get to that door and put that key in that lock. That's what I remember about her.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. That is a very powerful story. I thank you for sharing that. And as you know, if you've listened to our podcast at least, there's days or a portion of random questions that you may not have prepared for. I'm pretty prepared for, but it's just random questions just to get to know, just got understand who you are. So you ready? We're gonna ask you about 20 questions. No, I'm just kidding. We're gonna do 5 questions.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right.
Okay, I'm ready. Yes.
All right. No cheating now. You gotta get. It's a rapid fire. All right. What is one of the things you want to put on your bucket list?
Oh, wow. I want to go to Dubai. I've always wanted to go to Dubai. Yes.
Nice. Nice. Why?
Why? Because I want to experience different things. Life is short. I want to do it. Just go there and do it one day and just sit there. I don't know what they have, but I want to experience their food, their culture, their lifestyle, whatever. Just enjoy it. Be free.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Yeah.
If you superhero, would you be and why?
Oh, definitely. Wonder Woman. I will be a Wonder Woman.
Wonder
Hear
Woman.
me roar. I love her because she is powerful. She has that powerful stand, and she shows us as women we can do anything and be anything that we want to be. That's why I love her.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the new installment, Wonder Woman 1984. That the trailer looks awesome. She's a cool superhero.
Yes, she is.
I ain't gonna lie. Want to retire?
I would love to retire at age 55 but I'm not there yet, but I'm working on it. Why? Because I want to just enjoy life, just enjoy life and just be able to look back at my work and the help that I have done to other people and have that peace within myself. That's why.
Absolutely.
55 is good.
Good. Who is your first celebrity crush?
My first celebrity crush was Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt.
Oh.
A lot of people had crush on Denzel Washington. I'm like,
Yeah.
he's all right.
Brad Pitt. Yeah, that's no surprise. Brad was a hunk. I think he made the sexiest man alive at least once or twice.
Right, yes, Brad Pitt. But not anymore
Yeah.
though. He's okay.
Yeah. All right. All right. So the biggest one and final question: do you snore?
I think I do. Because sometimes when I sleep, I hear myself. I'm like, what is that? Who is that? But
You
yes,
wake
I
yourself up.
do. I wake my own stuff up. I do snore when I sleep, and I believe
Uh,
it's only when I have the flu or the cold. But I do snore.
oh, okay. Oh, okay. So we'll give you a pass on that one.
Yes.
All right. So anything that I as a host that you'd like to share with our audience?
Not that I could think of right now. I just want to thank you so much, Martin, for
Absolutely.
having me in the Small Business Big Impact. And I hope that I have given your audience a wealth of information that will guide them through the process with whomever that they are working with. And I hope that I can come back to be able to assist individuals in their process. But I just want to thank you for allowing me to be here in this platform, in this community, small business, big impact, to assist individuals the best way that I can.
Absolutely. And I'll correct you on one thing. You said that you don't think you're making a big impact, but you are. You are in every way that you do. And I'm sure you're going to be making an even bigger impact in the coming years, months, weeks. But you are. Just that story that you shared with that one client, that's a huge impact. That's that you helped her overcome that hurdle, and that home will serve her and her family for generations to
Yeah.
come.
Yes.
And that's something intangible that nothing that anyone does can take that away from you. You are part of that whole process. So you're making a big impact, and that's kind of what we try to highlight here. That the heroes are often unsung. We tend to celebrate the guys who take business IPO, and they sold for $7 billion or however many billion dollars. And we idolize these folks, and we don't realize that people, on everyday folks, are making a difference. And I'm glad that you took the time to get with
Thank
me,
you.
and even though it took like 3 or 4,
Well, it's okay.
but yeah, we're both
Okay.
busy. So I appreciate you taking the time out to come and talk to us here on the Small Business Impact. And I would love for you to come back again.
Thank you so much. Whenever and however you want me to be, I will be able to assist. I'll be ready for you. And I appreciate this time and opportunity once again. It was a pleasure to be here. And I hope that I have made a difference and help people with the process wherever they are in that process.
Thank you again. You have a good day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.